My name is Nicole Cullen, and I worked with a group of 5th graders at Hutchins Elementary and did a family narrative project. As we began the process, I wanted to get to know the students by playing an icebreaker game with popsicle sticks which had different questions on each stick. I took notes while the students were playing so I could collect data. After the game, I looked back at my notes to see what students had most in common with each other. They all like to celebrate culture and traditions, and all of the students are Hispanic. I then thought the project should be about Dia de los Muertos. The next step that I took was to look at the teaks to see if it matches with their custom and traditions for Dia de los Muertos, which was 22B for social studies. I also used the ELAR teak 11A, which is about composition that the students use to use genre characteristics in craft to compose multiple texts that are meaningful, and the student is expected to do a personal narrative. The next time that I visited the students, I read them a picture book called The Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos, a bilingual celebration by Bob Barner. As I read them the book, I had them color sugar skulls. I wanted to build on their background knowledge, and that was a great way to do it. I wanted them to remember all their special customs and traditions that come out of Dia de los Muertos. The students really enjoyed the picture book, and we even got into a great discussion afterwards. The following week, we worked on a story map so it can help students to create their narrative story and have a plan in their writing. I personally thought that the story map was successful because it was a good graphic organizer that the students got to fill in. In each box, they were able to write their characters, setting, beginning, middle, and end. This really helped the students who usually struggle in their writing with coming up with ideas on their own. Then the next week, they started to work on the cover and write their rough draft for their narrative. I had provided them with construction paper to make little booklets for their story. They really liked the concept of writing a story in a little booklet. I felt that they were more passionate about their writing. During the writing process, I helped the students with their grammar and continued to help them with developing more ideas in their writing. On the last week, they added pictures and finished their stories. They were so happy when they finished, and they accomplished all of their goals that we have discussed at the beginning of the project. I even had one girl write me a note to thank me because I encouraged her to write a whole story on her own. She said she now feels more confident in her writing. I couldn't have been more proud of this group. They did a great job. Here are the two girls that wanted to present their stories to me in the following videos.
Day of the Dead. Have you ever celebrated the Day of the Dead? Because I had. Let me explain what happened. First, what happened here on Earth, it was the Day of the Dead. So everybody was very happy and celebrating. So what everybody was doing was just having fun. And then boom. If you're wondering what that boom was, I'll tell you. It was the Earth. The Earth just blew up. Nobody survived, or I thought so. So only dogs were alive, and then the dog sent something, and it was a man named Jeff. So when they found Jeff, he said, "My name is Jeff." He was stuck under a piece of wood. So Superdog said, "Come on, it's a piece of wood." So then the dog had to pick up the wood for him to get out. So when he got out, they became friends. So then they went to go find some other life on the rest of the planet. So they found a woman. So then they had kids, then their kids had kids, and it goes on. So you get it. And then the whole world formed back together. The end.
Dia de los Muertos. One dark and windy night, it was November 1st. It was Dia de los Muertos, and it looked like a natural day until my mother and I visited my grandpa and baby cousin's graves for the Day of the Dead. Then we prayed for them while we put their favorite foods on their graves. Then 4 minutes later, we heard a voice. Then we heard another voice. We thought we were hearing things.